Welcome back. Welcome to On Topic. And today we're very fortunate to have with us Alfredo Diamond. He is a graduate of Indiana University. He has a master's degree in management from Indiana Wesleyan University, and he is a realtor through Home and Garden Realtors. And I'd like to welcome you to the show today. Al, can you tell us a little bit more about what you're doing these days?
Well, as a longtime Richmond, Indiana resident here in Wayne County, real estate's really just taken off. I've been very blessed, and I'm thankful for, to get through what we've all kind of gone through with the pandemic over the last, almost couple of years now. And so very thankful to be busy at a point in time where I thought, this thing may go the other way, but it just seems to be, blessing and keeping me busy. Sales are up, listings, it seem like they're down, but we're getting listings. They're just selling so fast. Right now I think I'm sitting about 7.6 million in sales this year. But it's a little bit above where I finished last year, which is great for me.
That's fantastic.
So
can you tell us, what are the trends you're seeing in the national housing market, and do those apply to the local market for yourself?
Yes, when you look at this statistics nationwide as far as listings, I think there was one state that was kind of down, which was New York. But overall, I mean, they're all down. It's a common theme. Inventory, it's been low, and it's been a seller's market for the last 2 or 3 years. Now it's not a buyer's market, seller's market, simple supply and demand. Basically, we have far few homes and an abundance of buyers, and that's contributed to the lower interest rates. If you qualify less than 3%, you have people wanting to downsize. A lot of sellers downsizing, wanting to cash in above those with the money or the increased equity with the increased property value. So you have that trend going on nationwide, and it's still going on today. I'm sure you hear the stories. People paying $40,000-$50,000 over asking price. That's contributed to the inventory and the supply and demand. So,
what's caused these trends?
Well, definitely the lower interest rates. The lower numbers of houses. Sellers are looking at a chance to cash in. What I'm seeing typically 15 to 20% more than in the property value than what you would have had, a year ago. So that's enticing to a lot of people. But on the other side, there's a lot of people that, they feel they can't find anything. They can't find their next home, their next dream home. So they'd rather sit and wait or take advantage of the low interest rates and refinance. So, I'm seeing it go a combination of ways right now. So that's a lot of the factors going on right now. So.
Now, recently, the Fed has hinted or has come out and stated that they're going to be raising interest rates next year. How do you think that will affect the market?
Well, we've had this, it's been not the norm right now. So I can see it, it increasing the market a little bit, things staying steady as to where they were a year ago. Right now, we've got this where everyone's wanting to cash in, people are waiting. I mean, we're just heading back to where things were kind of normal. The 4% interest rate was not uncommon, a year and a half ago. So I can't see it change the market that bad, except for the refinance and things like that. So
one of the things that I've noticed in the housing market over the past year and a half is that people who have properties and their landlords, there's been a moratorium on evictions, and sometimes people have just stopped paying their rent, and there's only been relief for landlords recently. How do people manage that?
Being an active agent here in this community, I get investors call in from across the country to have properties here, or local investors, frankly, people are just frustrated. A lot of the landlords are frustrated and unloading these properties and just kind of walking away, just, hey, get rid of this for me. I've had some of that. You've got where the landlords are also wanting to cash in. They're taking advantage of interest rates as well. But it is a great time to sell, whether you're an investor or a single family homeowner. And so you have a lot of that where the landlords are looking to cash in. On the other side, though, there's been, obviously the tenants, there's been some that have definitely needed that relief, and I'm probably thankful for it. It's helped contribute to, them surviving, right? But then there's also some, as we know, that's probably taking advantage of that situation. I have investment properties myself. I have a great relationship with my tenants. I think it starts right there. And just being adaptive and able to understand. I think it's what's helped me be successful in that avenue of my business. But on the selling side, the owners, the landlords, there has been, depends how they have their business structured. There has been opportunities to take advantage of disaster relief funds, PPP loans. So there have been several other tools out there available for those that may have been impacted by the mandatory.
We have to pause here for a break. Please stay tuned. We will be right back. And welcome back. Today we're talking to Alfredo Diamond of Home and Garden Realtors. Alfredo, I'm wondering, when you have you've been very busy being a realtor over the last year and a half, and it's been a wild ride for you. But the title companies, it seems like they've been even busier. Can you tell me why that is?
Well, the entire scope, the entire network, not just title companies, but, the inspectors, our appraisals, right now we're seeing lead times up to 2 weeks. So it's not just the title companies, but title companies definitely are feeling the impact. They have the same, they want the same situations a lot of the other small businesses are, especially being impacted by COVID, and just life in general. These people have families just like all of us, but definitely it increased sales with the market, homes flying off the market as soon as possible. The cash deals, you can close a cash deal with less than a week sometimes. So there's an abundance of cash deals right now. But one of the major things is they're just flooded with refinances. At one point, interest rates were on a 30-year fix was 2.125. I mean, that's just incredible. There's a lot of folks that have cashed in and refinanced their homes. That's also contributed to the shorter inventory levels that we are seeing right now. But definitely title companies, refinances. There's also some other factors that you may not think about. Due to COVID, you got to think we've lost a lot of people. A lot of those people had estates. You're dealing with estates now. Those home people, their loved ones have maybe sold those properties, from the estate and et cetera. So they're dealing with a lot of different avenues, not just the sales and refinances, but estates as well. And those take a lot of time. So, I'm walking into title companies and, I just communicate with them. I'm just like, hey, how many closings you have today? They're 12, 13, 14 closings in an 8-hour day. I don't know how they're keeping up. So definitely, they are definitely impacted by this market.
Now, some people, they're refinancing to get a better rate because the rates have gone down. But what does it mean when people are refinancing for money out? What does that mean?
There's several different ways you can refinance. One of the most common ones I deal with is the HELOC, home equity line of credit. So you see, that's one avenue where you can cash out and get equity out of your home. The other one is just basically refinancing for your home's value. It has to be appraised again. A lot of times, if it's with the same company that you're refinancing with, they'll actually just do a ride-by appraisal or in-house appraisal. There's a lot of different things going on. Appraisal waivers. You've probably never heard of that before, where you've got so much equity in your house, they're just kind of waiving the appraisal and refinance. As long as you're within a certain threshold, usually 80% to the appraised value, things like that are more common. So,
What advice do you have to people who are contemplating selling their home? Should they go ahead and grab a house at the higher prices? Should they wait to see if the prices come down? What would you recommend to someone who was thinking of buying a house now?
every situation is different. I've had clients where I'm just straight up honest with them, like, hey, it's probably not a good time for you to sell right now, or I've got some where it makes total sense for them to cash out. I've got clients that are walking away with 40, 50, $35,000 above, where their home would have appraised at, a year ago. So, a lot of people are paying off debt with that, some consolidating debt, which is very smart. The other side of that coin is finding a place to go. I have clients they end up renting. They move in with relatives. So I've got some that are just buying RVs and just going to travel the country. But it's a great opportunity. Just depends on your circumstance, and having a knowledgeable realtor like myself that will have that conversation with you is very important. I've been very successful helping families buy and sell at the same time, but it is very important if you choose to do that to have a game plan. Part of that game plan is just a couple things. One, yes, getting your house on the market and letting an experienced realtor manage that. Two, you're also buying. We don't want any surprises. Let's just get your pre-approval as well. I meet people that are like, well, we want to find a house first, and they're just so scared they're going to be homeless. That's a reality. It could, if you have an agent that's not communicating with the other parties or the other buyer, that's not transparent, that can happen. But when you have a clear-cut game plan, you can have a successful rate of cashing in and buying at the same time.
What about the flip side? What advice do you have to people who are wanting to sell their property? Should they just list it because the prices are high? Should they still try to do things to further increase the value, or what advice do you have for them?
That's a great question. It's a lot similar to the last question. It depends on the situation. I'm a homeowner. I've been a homeowner for years. I have investment properties and things like that. I help people buy investments, things like that. So I go in every situation like I own the house. And so when you're dealing with me, I'm not necessarily going to have you spend a bunch of money or make a bunch of upgrades that you may not make that money back. Just because this market's crazy, you don't want to give away your profit margin. So, I try to go in with a smart approach. The sellers have all the leverage right now. A year ago, it may have been important for you to finish that patio or build that new deck, and maybe you would increase your property value. But right now, as long as there's not a lot of repairs, the house is aesthetically and it looks appealing and in great shape. I walk through those listing appointments with, looking at it from a minimalist perspective. What can we do here with the smallest amount of budget to get the biggest impact? Because I know the buyers are more flexible now than they've ever been. And that's a great opportunity for the sellers.
What has been the impact of COVID over the past year and a half?
Well, in regards to real estate and me personally, I see it. I don't want to get into debate with anyone or anything like that, but I have seen its effects and its impact on families. I can remember, coming to the office. I love going to the office. The first thing I do in the mornings, and we had a gentleman, a fellow peer, a realtor, an older gentleman that I became friends with, and whether I was having a bad day or a good day, he would just talk to me and give me some coaching and things like that, and just one of those special people that just kind of, he was just in it because he enjoyed it, and enjoyed being around people. The guy just kind of put it around the office. So his office was next to mine, and he really embraced me from day one and took to me. But I remember it was probably last June. I remember it because I was really concerned about this COVID stuff and, how it would impact my family, my friends, my coworker, the economy. There's so many different thoughts. And I remember one morning, the gentleman, can I say his name?
Use his first name.
Porter. And I remember hearing him in the office overhearing with my managing broker. And he's like, hey, I had a great time this weekend with my family. We had a get together. But I've got to run out to the hospital to get tested for COVID. Someone in my family, said that they tested positive for COVID and that we should go get checked. Well, he went and got checked, and that was basically the last time I seen him. So I remember telling him goodbye, and I sent him a text just to check on him, say, hey, bro, hope you're getting better. Can't wait to see you back at the office. And I never got a response, and he ended up dying from COVID. So I was really impacted on a personal level and professionally. Here's someone right in my office, their office right next to mine, and they were gone within a week.
That's so sad.
Yeah. So it's real. So, I made the choice to be vaccinated. I kind of posted it on my social media. You have your choice, but, without getting into politics, things like that, me personally, I feel like if it's something that I know the vaccine came around fast, but if it's something that I can do to save my life, prevent me passing it on and can save someone else's life, I feel like that's what I should do.
That's very responsible, because you do come across and interact with a lot of people in your line of work. And I would imagine it would feel terrible if you inadvertently were infected. You were fine, but you ended up infecting someone else.
We don't have rarely open house. I haven't actually had an open, besides the fact that homes are selling so fast, but open houses, when I go to listing appointments, a lot of clients, they really don't want to have the open house because they don't want to take that chance. They're trying to be responsible. Are you
relying on virtual open houses, or?
They're just selling so fast. We used to do a tour, we called it, after our sales meetings on Tuesday, where we would actually, the entire group of agents would leave the sales meeting and go around to each new listing that we had just to get familiar so we can talk about it. That's changed. We haven't done that because of this. There's actually a document that the IAR, Indian Associated of Realtors, have. Well, it's a national NAR, National Association of Realtors. There's a document where and many people may not know this, but you really should be having, your agent present that to anyone that's showing your house. That kind of takes away any type of responsibility in case someone comes in your home and it contacts, COVID or and vice versa. So make sure that if you are having those interactions, your open houses, tours, things like that, make sure that you've got your agent being responsible and filling out that document.
Alfredo, I want to thank you for joining us today. This has been a big help. I think people have a lot of questions right now, and this has been very helpful.
Thanks for having me here today. I really appreciate you giving me this opportunity to be here and speak with me today.